Good morning, the sun is shining at last, thank God. So I'm going to do a little bit of a plant tour of my courtyard garden. We're going to start with the shady side. So down here I've just got some standard geraniums. I can't remember which one they are, but they hardy geraniums which just get on with it. So they cope with shade, they cope with dry, and they just carry on. So they're a really useful filler. So this one is a geranium macrorrhizum, and it's a white one. I've got pink ones which I've had for about 20 years and really are survivors, and I just wanted, so they're a bright pink, and I just wanted a white flower one. So I only got these this year, so they have flowered, and now they're filling out a bit. Couple of astrantia here which have flowered, just cut them off, and another one here, and I've only just discovered those as well. A little bit of an addiction. Astrantia's not getting on so well. It's been moved around a couple of times, and I think I'm gonna put something else there. Under here, so I've lived here for 17 years. I planted a common jasmine and a star jasmine, and although it's north facing, they grow up into the sun. So the normal jasmine was actually a stephanotis, and that's I mean, that's just gone wild, which is absolutely lovely. It's one of my favourite plants, jasmine. The star jasmine though, I can't even find a bit of it now. It's looking a bit crispy up here, which has never happened before, so I don't know if it's been pruned or something further down and they're actually dead, I suspect. But it's never actually flowered, ever, in its whole life, as far as I know. So I leave it, because it's evergreen, it's nice in the winter. But if anyone's got any tips for making your star jasmine flower, please tell me, because I'm struggling. So this is the geranium macrorrhizum, the pink one, which it's so shady, this border. It only gets a little bit of morning sun, maybe for a couple of hours. This is pretty. She loves the video. So yeah, so that's just getting on with it there. Hello, Mr. Spider. This is my little fairy garden, and I actually put that mirror in, if you see, along the back. There's the neighbour's pipes. So it just helps to disguise all of that. This lobelia. So you know you get lobelias in like packs of 12 or something for £3. I just chucked it in there because it was extra and I didn't think it would grow, and it's done really well. So I might kind of use that next year. This fuchsia, I don't even like fuchsia. I don't know why I bought it, but it was really cheap in B&M or somewhere. So, and I thought it was a white one, but it's not. I've not really looked after it because I kind of don't want it really, but it's there. It's hosting a ladybird right now. So along the back, as well as the fuchsia bindweed, there isn't as much. There used to be loads of it. I've got some lily of the valley, which my mum gave me, and I've only just planted a couple of months ago. So time will tell on that. I have to keep chucking water down because it's probably a bit dry down the back there for them, but we'll see. This is a rooted cutting of Christmas box Sarcococca confusa, which is such a lovely plant. And I took a cutting, and I don't know really if this is the best place. It's fairly slow growing, so I think I might move that. But I was pleased the cutting rooted, and it's looking pretty good actually. So that's sort of work in progress, this one. This stuff, this is Herb Robert. Now it is a weed because it self-seeds absolutely everywhere, but I used it to help get rid of the bindweed in this border. So you know what bindweed's like, it's like a constant battle. So last summer I let this stuff self-seed in here, and it's actually quite a nice plant. It has pretty pink flowers, nice foliage, evergreen, I think, if I remember rightly, over the winter. But it does, it's a beast because it self-seeds everywhere, so you do need to be careful. But it did help knock back the bindweed. So that's on top of, you know, pulling it up. Speaking of which, where's this coming from? Yeah, so pulling it up, but also letting this stuff take over just for one season, and it does seem to, like, it's been the best it ever has in terms of not too much bindweed. So bit of an experiment, that one. So I'm leaving that one there for now, but I will pull it up because I'm never going to see the end of it. This fern, I love this. I only got this year. Again, I do chuck a bit of water down here, and behind it is some more of the geranium macrorhizum and an old bedroom mirror to try and get a bit more light down there. In the back here, I keep calling it polonium, but it's not, it's palmium or something like that. But I'm going to do a video on those because I've a new plant I've discovered. Pretty blue flowers, absolutely love them. It's more sort of spring, early summer, so it's over now, but really useful for the shade. This is another lobelia that's done really well in the shade, and they're so pretty, and I know they're, like, you know, people think of them as fairly average or not that special, but, you know, a pretty blue flower in a garden that grows in the shade and just gets on with things, like, ticks all the boxes. And my cat's boxes, she likes it too. Moving on to the hydrangea. This was a cutting, sorry about the shadow. This was a cutting my mum's friend took from, I don't know, I think it was a stately home or somewhere a few years ago, that she grew on and gave to me. It's in quite a small pot, not huge, and it's been in there for about 5 years, and it has the ashes of our cat who we lost, Boise, about 5 years ago, and oh my god, it loves its life. It does need to tidy up this year. It was growing in another place, so it kind of stretched out to the side, trying to grow into the sun. So we'll have a little bit of a tidy up of that at the end of the season. This hanging basket has history. I've tried a few things in it. In the end, we went back to lobelia. It's a bit dry at the moment. But again, it's just a pretty thing that just gets on with its life. And then we have the honeysuckle's gone to berries now. There might be a few more later in the season. But that's been there forever as well and just gets on with things. What else have we got? So down here, this, I don't think this, oh, there's a few flowers on it. This is a jasmine clotted cream, and my sister-in-law gave me this, oh, it's a long time ago, probably about 15 years ago, and I stuck it in this pot, and it was somewhere else, and then it got a bit neglected for a couple of years. Just hung around at the back of a shed, wouldn't die, so now it grows here. I think the roots are coming out the bottom of the pot, if I remember rightly, so there's no chance of moving it, but it goes all the way up here, and it does have, you can see, it's had the most, it's flowered really well this year. Oh, there's a snail. You don't eat jasmine. Let's put you somewhere else. Yeah, so I'm training it now to grow over here, so we've got a little bit of a, hopefully when it's done, jasmine arch thing going on. So it really is a champion, that clotted cream, and the smell is lovely. This is a dicentra, a white one, which is another new plant discovery this year. Got from a man off Facebook, and actually that stayed green longer than I thought it would, and it has flowered a little bit, but next year will be showtime for it. Bit of mint my Italian friend Maria gave me. Wait for the plane to go over. I live under a small airport, so you might hear the odd plane. yeah, so Maria's plants are always really good. They never die and they're champions. So I'm about the only person in the world who can kill mint, so we'll see. And then a little bit of lobelia. I love this little pot. It's from things like hagstones we found on the beach near Dungeness. A little bit of a glitter rock my daughter made when she was little. And someone brought us back that from Greece a long time ago. So it's quite cute. That pot just sits in the corner. That's going in the back border. I can't remember what it's called, and my mum can't, who gave it to me either. It's not looking so great at the moment. Some Shasta daisy cuttings. Don't really need any because I've got loads to divide. That's another champion. Oh, the shade. That's another champion hydrangea. So looking a bit past its best now, but it flowered really early. I've had that for about, it's got to be 5 years, probably longer. I got it for a £5 from a boot fair. It stayed in that pot and just got on with things, and it's just a lovely, lovely plant. I know the lobelia is it's everywhere. I'm going to swap that though, because what I'm going to do today is these lovely sweet peas are at the end of their life, so I'm just going to cut the flowers, then cut the plant back to give the morning glory a little bit more time and space. So pretty. I love morning glories. I know they're a bit of a faff with sowing them and looking after them before it's warm enough to put them outside, but last year the display was amazing. It went all the way over here, all the way over of blue flowers. I don't know if we're gonna get that this year because it's not been such good weather and I think it likes it warm, so we'll see. Anyway, I'll give it a bit of space and it can get on with things. Now I've left this here. This is my bright idea that went wrong. So this is a night blooming jasmine, which are not hardy in the UK. They will die over the winter, even with, I tried it, so it's fairly protected here. This is a active fireplace, so I thought if I put it here with some fleece and cover and protection and bubble wrap, it might survive. It didn't. So I'd taken this cutting and another one from the mother plant, and just in case it didn't survive. But this cutting hasn't done, it's rooted, but it doesn't like my plan for keeping it. So the idea was, this pot I've not put holes in the bottom because I thought I'll grow it in here inside this with some stones so you can't see that it's in a separate pot, and then in the winter I can just take it inside and overwinter it, be no problem. We have had so much rain that this is the second time the pot's filled with water, and it'll be stagnant and stinking, so I'm not looking forward to doing that. But I think I'm just going to have to bite the bullet and grow it like a normal plant, and then just bring it in for the winter and find something to put it in, because that's really not worked. I've got another cutting around the front in the border, which is actually doing quite well, but neither of them have flowered so far this year, so I don't know if the cuttings are too young. Last year was the first time I grew night blooming jasmine. Oh my god, the scent is amazing. I highly recommend it, but as I say, it doesn't survive the UK winters, even mild ones by the coast, but actually last winter wasn't that mild. This is a fragrant cloud rose. It's pretty much the only rose I've got. My mum gave it to me for Mother's Day. I think it's supposed to work the other way around, isn't it? But oh, it's lovely. So that's been cut down because it's finished flowering now, so it's just having another go. This, I am so pleased with this pot. And this is the accidental pot. So it started life as a Gaviola fanflower here. Can you see? Just there. It's not actually, it's being a bit squished out by everything else. So that was the first one, and actually I put it in that hanging basket early in the season. Didn't do very well. So, well, it didn't do very well, and I then saw the convolvula in the garden centre, which I love and was what I grew in that hanging basket last year. So I bought the convolvula, I took out the fanflower and I put the convolvula out up there in that hanging basket. It was like, I don't know, it was a bit slow, a bit sulky. I don't know if it got too much sun in that early heat wave and it was too young. It just didn't seem to cope particularly well there. So I had that hanging around. It's a little bit of extra white lobelia. And this heliotrope, Sensational it's called. Oh my God, it really is. I love heliotrope. And this is the strongest scented heliotrope I've ever had. I love it. Someone's had a little buffet. So we need to go exploring and say, oh, it might be him. We'll find a new home for him. But anyway, I'm gonna move this pot so that it's there. So it's a bit more central and it deserves a place of honour because it's just performed brilliantly. This is a star jasmine that I took a cutting of from the other plant over in the shady border, the one that's never flowered. The cuttings, I think it's about 3 years old now. Never flowered, still not flowered, but it has grown. What's that? No, I thought that might be flower buds, it's not. Yeah, it's grown, looks fairly happy, so we'll keep going. It's had tomato feed, it's had normal feed. I've pruned it back a bit because it's still, no, I did prune it back. It might need another bit more of a prune, but I don't know. I love star jasmine so much. And you know when you see them in the garden centre and they're like 70 quid and they're covered in flowers? Star jasmine goals. Don't know why mine isn't. These, what used to be in here? Oh, it's some snapdragons, some like burgundy snapdragons. And they really weren't happy. And I don't know why, because snapdragons will grow pretty much anywhere. I had some white ones grow there last year, which were really happy. So I'm not sure about that. I think, oh, there's a massive bee there. Hello. Hello. And come to snack. Yeah, so I'm probably gonna get in the sale, though they didn't have any yesterday, some more Achillea because they grow in pots. I want more of them. I think a bright colour would look really nice here against the white. So that's next year's plan. And I'm just waiting to pounce on those. This is a jasmine polyanthum, the one that flowers in sort of January, February, loads of flowers inside, smells divine, and usually dies. So it flowers, then it goes all brown and crispy and you chuck it out. But I saw this man on YouTube and I can't remember who it was. If I can work out how to do links, it's early days, bear with me, I will find the link to his channel. But he's in the UK and he is, he knows so much about looking after these types of jasmine and how to get them to flower again, what you need to do. So his advice is to take it outside once in the summer and keep it pruned back. So keep these tendrils pruned back. And then it does need a period of cold, not frost, I don't think, just cold. And then you bring it inside and then it will flower. So we will see. It's looking really good so far, so I'm quite pleased with that. And I just love jasmine, especially that time of year when life is so miserable. In January and February in the UK, the weather's miserable, it's really cold. You just need, Christmas decorations have gone and you just need something to cheer you up, and that is like the perfect antidote to January and February for me. So I'm quite looking forward to seeing how that one goes. This beast, is a piece of privet. So when we first moved in, my sister-in-law gave me an azalea, beautiful azalea, bright pink, lovely scent, which I planted. At the same time, my neighbour gave me a rooted stick of privet, which he'd planted and said I could have. I put them in both in the same pot. I don't know why. I really don't know why. But anyway, so, and then forgot. So for at least 10 years, I was waiting for what I thought was azalea to flower. And then last year, year before, I worked out that's actually the bit of privet. So it had grown, it'd been over there in the shade, so it had grown out and stretched out towards the sun. So it's a bit of an odd shape, but I thought I might try a bit of cloud pruning. So I have started, but you know, I need to tidy it up. I don't even know if you can cloud prune privet. There's only one way to find out. So I'll give that a little tidy up at some point. Now, behind here, this is the mother Sarcococca confuser, the Christmas box. So this is the original. Absolutely fine in the shade. It gets, I don't know, little, maybe an hour of sun a day. But it's quite happy there and will flower December, January time, and that plant's about 3 years old now. I mean, after the pandemic, all our timescales are shot to pieces, aren't they? So times may vary, recollections may vary. Another bit of lobelia, again, quite shady, gets on with it, probably a bit dry. Yeah, need a bit of water. And I've got to show you this is the world's most pathetic zinnia. I mean, come on. That is a zinnia that is not zinning. It's got no zin about it whatsoever. I planted them from seed. Thought I did everything right, but I mean, yeah. So this is the world's most pathetic zinnia. I'm probably not going to bother again. I might sulk for a couple of years, forget all about it, and try again. But no time soon. Sorry, zinnia. This is night blooming, night scented stock, which has been lovely, and it's like over now. I grew that from seed. The scent is amazing, and I grow that every year, so I need to tidy that up a bit. So just going to sort out the sweet peas, cut off the last blooms, move that pot there so it has a place of honour, and then we'll see where we're at. Right, so the sweet peas have gone. Thank you for your service, sweet peas. We're sad to see you go, but now the morning glory has a bit of time, a bit of space. Move that nice pot so that has a bit more of a central role in things. And I just wanted to show you. So there's loads of buds on the morning glory. It's looking a little bit tatty after the sweet pea removal, but it's a bit bare on the right hand side there, but I think that'll fill out and it will be okay. And loads of buds coming, so that's all good. So my little hack for, instead of putting up trellis, I use these little screw-in hooks, which is much easier, much quicker, and actually they all just fade into the background. I've got quite a few of them, and they're really easy just to screw into a bit of wood. They last a long time. These ones have been here a few years, so they're just really handy, and you can put them where you want, and much easier than getting trellis and drills and all that kind of stuff. So that's that done. Now down here I moved that Sarcococca Christmas box, which I forgot to say has the most amazing scent. That's why it's such a lovely flower. I've moved that and put it here. The Paulia Strantia I've put back in the back border, which is where it was originally. So hopefully it'll get a tiny bit more light here, and I think it might be a bit better. And then out the back I found some of that white geranium macrorhizum. I think it's called apple green. So that's the one with the white flower that grows in dry shade. So that will quite quickly fill that area, and I think that will be better there. So we're going to have the Bevans, the macrorhizum Bevans variety here. It's this one, which is a bright pink flower. There's a white one there and a white one there now, so that should all fit in together. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. See you soon.